What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for June 9th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Monday edition of the podcast. The Phillies are officially in Tom Petty free fall mode, swept by the Pirates. And look, I know Paul Skeens is good, but Sanchez was just as good. They just no offense. They had like 2 hits going into the 9th inning. I think they ended up with 3 on the day. You just can't get it done. I don't care who's pitching. Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, Cy Young, just not good. And I'm not sure what can be done. They need a shot of energy. They're just going through the motions. I don't know if this starts with the manager. Like I said at the beginning of the year, they might get to this point, and slowly they're at this point now where, excuse me, it might be time to look at doing something to get a spark under this team. I feel like this can go one of 2 ways. They're either going to rally around this and snap out of it in a big way, or they're just going to continue to free fall. And doesn't get any easier. Cubs are in town. Zach Wheeler's back on the mound tonight after his paternity leave, but just not a good weekend, not a good road trip for the Phils. They won the 1 game in Toronto and then 5 straight. And truthfully, the way they lost all 5 of those games just were not good. Like, there's no excuse to get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates ever. Even when they were at their peak back in the early 90s. You don't get swept by the Pirates. Just not good. Not all is well in Phillies land. So we'll see what happens. Home cooking. Maybe they bounce back here. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they come back and sweep the Cubs. That just seems to be this team's MO. But something feels different about this time. I don't know if that is really in the cards. I don't know. It's just there's so many things wrong with this team right now that not inspiring confidence whatsoever. So hopefully they rally around this and do better, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that because it's not looking good. But schools are starting to finish up. My kids finish up on Thursday. That means it's time to take trips to the shore. And don't start your vacation off stress. Get Beach Caddy to help you move your stuff from your car to your place, and then they'll help you move it out at the end of the week. Get their beach carts. Best beach carts in the Jersey Shore. Big inflatable wheels. You'll be moving across the sand, no problem. If you're in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, or Wildwood, let Beach Caddy take the stress out of your vacation. Use the promo code Jimbo to take 10% off your move-in, move-out service, which is their bellhop service, as well as cart rental, and let Beach Caddy take the stress. Available in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood, because being from Philadelphia and a Phillies fan is stressful enough. You don't need to carry that over to your vacation. Beach Caddy takes the stress out of your vacation. All right, let's do some housekeeping. And yesterday we talked about Steve Jeltz hitting 2 homers in that amazing comeback against the Pirates where Jim Rooker, the Pirates color analyst, said, if we lose this game, I will walk home. He made good on it. But Steve Jeltz hit 2 homers that game. He only had 5 home runs for his career, 4 of them coming in that 1989 season. I know I was a little bit unsure, but I always like to give you the correct stats. Steve Jeltz, 5 career home runs. 2 of them happened yesterday as the Phillies come back to beat the Pirates after giving up 10 runs in the first inning. Some other housekeeping notes. Just remember, we will be switching to a Monday through Friday format. With that comes different segments during the week. Still keeping Tuesday positivity. Still going to keep Fridays with AI, but then add some things on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. All in an effort to try to expand the reach, kind of branch out a little bit, do some other things. I've been talking to you about the Phillies pregame or the Eagles pregame show coming this fall. So that all will help us out there. And then be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mott on Twitter and TikTok. on Instagram at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. And also, if you want to see highlights, clips, photos of whatever we're talking about, all my social media has that, including my Facebook and LinkedIn. So hit me up there. And of course, the Discord channel is live. Go right to the first line in the description. Come, let's talk some Philly sports and just wallow in our misery over the Phillies. But you can get custom-made hype chains from Lotwim. These things are amazing, great for kids' sports. Swim seasons are kicking off. Bachelor parties, fantasy football is right around the corner. Bachelor parties, all kinds of fun things you can do with this. Go to lotwin.com. Use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. Get hype. Get your own custom-made hype chain from Lotwin and use that promo code TCCPOD for 10% off. All right. Yesterday's trivia question. I said during Major League Baseball went to divisions in 1969 and kept it that way throughout the whole until the advent of the wild card. So from 1969 to 1994, the winner of the East and the winner of the West would play each other in the NLCS. My question was, from 1969 to 1994, who won the most NL East titles? You might be surprised by this one. It was the Pirates who won the NL East 9 times. Second place, your Philadelphia Phillies won it 6 times. So of the 25 years or whatever it is, that they had divisions before the pre-wild card round, 15 of the 25 stayed in the state of Pennsylvania. If you're keeping score at home, the Mets were next with 4. Cardinals won 2 or 3, Cubs won 2, and the Expos won 1. They would have won a second, but the strike happened in 1994, so there was no NL East winner. Be sure to check out my friends at the Clashing Conferences. We're part of their Sports Fan Network. Great things happening there. Always looking for new members. So go to clashingconferences.com, see what they have to offer, how you can get involved, and if you need some media services, they can help you out with that as well. The new podcasts drop on Thursday and Friday, so be sure to check them out. They cover a variety of sports. Always fun listening to the guys talk. So go to clashingconferences.com, see how you can get involved, how you can become a member, and check out the new podcasts that drop on Thursdays and Fridays. And then, of course, Philly Goat. Still not too late to get stuff for Dad. My shirt should be coming, I believe, tomorrow. Looking forward to that. They have the Garbage Pail Kid collection. Which the Phillies actually are playing like garbage, so that's very appropriate. They have the new "If you don't want to get booed, don't suck" shirt. Should be a lot of folks wearing that tonight down at the ballpark. But Philly Goats got you covered for Father's Day. They got those Fanatic Rocks glasses. The cooler so far has been a hit at the pool. You name it, they got it. The shoes are comfy. Go to Philly Goat, use that promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order, and don't forget about Dad. All right, June 9th, we're going to do a little bit of Phillies and Flyers today. And first, we're going to go back to 1991. And on this day in 1991, John Kruk tied a team record with 2 triples in a game as part of a 3-for-4 night he had. Only had 1 RBI on 2 triples, but it was the second time in 2 years that John Kruk had accomplished the feat of hitting 2 triples in the same game. The last Philly to accomplish it was in 2017. Odubel Herrera hit 2 triples in a game. And also, if you're keeping score at home, the Major League Baseball record is 3, shared by many players, but the last time it happened was last September. Xavier Edwards of the Marlins did it. But on this day in 91, Phils lose 6-3, but John Kruk hits 2 triples in the game. And then we're going to go 30 years later to 2021, and the Phillies beat the Braves when Luke Williams, remember him? I don't. But he had a 2-out, 2-run walk-off homer in his first Major League start. He would go 2 for 4 that day, adding a double, and he was the first Philly to hit a walk-off homer in his first Major League Baseball start. And Luke is currently in the Braves organization as a utility man for the big club, does a lot of pinch running for them. But that's the kind of energy the Phillies need. They need Luke Williams energy tonight, as Luke Williams hit the 2-run walk-off in his first Major League Baseball start down at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies beat the Braves 2-1. Can we get a Luke Williams? Otto Kemp hitting a walk-off would be great. Just need something. But that all happened on this day in 2021. And then 2010, trying to force a Game 7 and avoid getting eliminated, Scott Hartnell tied the game with, Scott Hartnell got the ball rolling for the Flyers and then tied the game with 4 minutes left to send it to overtime. But then in overtime, Patrick Kane scored 4 minutes in. Nobody saw it because of the way he hit it. It got stuck underneath the padding of the net. There was a review. Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks were celebrating on the Wells Fargo Center ice, knowing that they had scored. The review of the goal, I should say, did prove that it was a goal, and that ended the season for the Flyers as that magical run where they got into the playoffs on the final day of the season in a shootout, came back from 3 games down, 3 goals down in Game 7 to beat the Bruins, did force 6 games in the Stanley Cup, but would lose to the Blackhawks 4-3 this day. And then Danny Briere scored the other goal for the Flyers. And this was the first time that there was an overtime cup winner to win the championship since 2000. But the Flyers' dream ended on this day in 2010 when Patrick Kane scored 4 minutes into overtime on a puck that I remember everybody was like, no, it's not good. And then unfortunately, as you can see from the replay, it was good. So kind of a mixed bag for Philly teams on this day. All right. Going back to our trivia question for the day, and John Kruk was traded from the Padres with Randy Reddy on June 2nd, 1989, in a trade that actually paid off very well, I think, for the Phillies. Kruk really excelled during his time with the Phillies, made a couple All-Star teams, was a big part of that 93 run. Who did the Phillies trade to get Randy Reddy and John Kruk? That is today's trivia question. This is a blast from the past. So hit me up on the social media. Hit me up on the Discord channel. Call or text it back to the Future Voice and Text line 267-495-8531. Who did the Phillies trade to get John Kruk and Randy Reddy back in June of 1989? And then finally today, our greatest individual season in Philly sports tournament continues. Yesterday, we had a matchup out of the Flyers region, and Claude Giroux with the upset, 60% of the vote. His 2011-2012 season knocked out Bill Barber's 75-76 season. Thank you for everybody who voted. Didn't see that one coming, but Claude Giroux moves on. Today, we go to the Sixers region, and the number 6 seed, Dr. J, from 1980 to the 1980-81 season, he was the MVP, All-NBA, was an All-Star, averaged 24.6 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, and 4.4 assists. That was the season that the Sixers blew the 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Final to the Celtics, kind of breaking up a couple of final runs for the Sixers. But Dr. J's MVP season is the number 6 seed out of the Sixers region. He is taking on the number 11 seed, Allen Iverson. His 2005-2006 season, AI averaged 33 points per game, which was a career high, but it wasn't good enough for the scoring title as Kobe averaged 35 points per game that season. AI led the league in free throw attempts and as well as free throws made. He also added 7.4 assists a game, almost 2 steals per game. He was third team All-NBA, made the All-Star team. Sixers missed the playoffs that year, and you might remember this was his last full season with the Sixers. That was the year him and Chris Webber missed Fan Appreciation Night. But in 2005-2006, AI had a career high 33 points per game. Now it's your turn. Whose season was better? Was it the number 6 seed Dr. J in 1980-81 when he won the MVP, or Allen Iverson in 2005-06 when he averaged 33 points per game, a career high for a team that just was not any good? Again, hit me up on the Discord channel. Call or text me on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Vote on my social media. But who moves on in the greatest individual season in Philly sports history tournament? Is it Dr. J, the year he won the MVP, or AI in 2005-2006, his last full season with the Sixers when he averaged 33 points per game? Don't forget about our trivia question. Who did the Phils trade to get John Kruk and Randy Reddy? On this day in 2010, Flyers eliminated from the Stanley Cup Final 4-3 in overtime as Patrick Kane with the game winner 4 minutes in. In 2021, Luke Williams with the walk-off 2-run shot to win the game for the Phils in the ninth in his first Major League start. And hopefully we can get some of that Luke Williams energy at Citizens Bank Park tonight. And then 1991, our man John Kruk, for the second time in 2 years, hit 2 triples in a game, but it wasn't enough as the Phils lost 6-3 to the Reds. We'll have more on what ails the Phillies. Hopefully they can snap out of this with Zach Wheeler. But, I mean, truthfully, Zach Wheeler could give up a run or two and they could still lose the way they've been hitting. I think it's full-blown panic. Let me know your thoughts on that, too. If we weren't doing the tournament, that would be the question of the day. Like I said, I'm in panic mode. I've seen it too many times. And as much as we say we need to get back to a new Philly mentality, that old Philly mindset starts creeping in when the teams are playing like this. And at this point, it's almost the middle of June. Don't give me, it's baseball. No, this team, even when they were winning, I said it so many times, they haven't played their best. And I think it's kind of just is who they are at this point. I saw some people on Twitter yesterday saying, I'm more excited for the future with all those guys in AAA. Can't say I disagree with them. So they need something. What that something is, I don't know. Is it the manager, hitting coach, shuffle the lineup? I don't know. But I feel as though like they've taken on the personality of the manager here. But just not a good time in Phillies land. Hopefully they snap out of it against the Cubs, though. I don't know if I believe it, but hey, we got to stay positive. We will have some Tuesday positivity / motivation tomorrow. I do apologize. I'm just frustrated with this team right now. I woke up not feeling the greatest either, but I've seen this. I've seen this game before, and if you go back to, going on a little rant here, but if you go back to like those early to mid 2000 teams before Charlie Manuel came in, before they kind of got it together for 2007, this was their MO. They would always start off good, be in first place, go on a little June, July swoon, and then try to battle back for the wild card, but it was always too late. Certainly could see that happening again this year, but what can fix the Phillies? I don't know. Maybe they need somebody like Larry Bow in there to be a manager, and maybe I'm just too old school, but they need somebody in there yelling, kicking over coolers, stuff like that, because they just have no energy. They have no heart. All right, enough about that. Maybe they'll snap out of it today. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for June 9th, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Monday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.